How many terms make the sum of 3425 for the series shown? -5 plus -2 plus 1 plus 4. We're adding 3 each time. So we have an arithmetic. Next step is going to be to write the rule. A sub n equals 3n plus b. And my n's would go 1, 2, 3, 4 for my inputs. And these would be my a sub n or my outputs. So let's input 1, output -5. So -5 equals 3 times 1 plus b. So -5 equals 3 plus b, subtract 3. -8 equals b. So here's my rule. A sub n equals 3n minus 8. Okay, so we want to know how many terms will make the sum 3425. So I know my sum is going to be, let me write that down, 3425. And I know how the sum is found. It's the number of terms times the average of the first term and the last term. So the first term is -5. That's given to us right here. And the last term, I don't know, because I don't know how many terms. But what I can do is I can apply this rule, 3n minus 8. Okay, see what I did there? I don't know what the last term is, but I know it follows this rule. So if I can figure out what n is, that's going to tell me 3n minus 8 is going to be that last term. Okay, so let's try and solve this for n. So it's going to be 3425 equals, and I'm just going to simplify this a little bit on the inside here, n times 3n, and -5 minus 8 is -13 divided by 2. So next thing I'm going to do is multiply both sides by 2 to get rid of the fraction. So that's going to be 6850 equals n times 3n minus 13. Then distribute the n. 6850 equals 3n squared minus 13n. This is going to be a quadratic equation. I'm going to subtract 6850. So it's going to be 0 equals 3n squared minus 13n minus 6850. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a calculator at this point because that 6850 is a really large number. Okay, so I go to my y equals, and it's going to be 3x squared minus 13x minus 6850. Let's graph that. And then adjust my window a little bit. So let's go zoom 6 for standard window first. I'm going to put my y max at, say, 500. And my x max at, say, 100. I'm just trying random numbers here. Okay, well, there's something. Back to the window. Let's try y max of 5,000. Okay, well, I'm thinking this value here is probably going to be the solution to the equation. And this parabola, well, it looks like I'm catching the kind of the upside of it. Let's see. What if I change my window here to be, for x min, -100? Maybe that'll give a better view. Okay, now if I change the y value in the window, say to negative 5,000. Okay, well now you can see how it's a quadratic function. We still can't see the vertex, but that's not what matters. What matters here is this point off to the right here, the intersection with the x-axis. So I do second calc, and then 0, which is option 2. I head on over to the right there. Okay, so enter here for the left bound. Now I'm to the right, enter again. Enter one more time. X equals 50. Okay, so what that means is for n equals 50, and there's also a negative number that works, but that doesn't apply to this situation because you can't have a negative number of terms. So for n equals 50, we're going to have a sum of 3425, and this equation of 0 equals 3n squared minus 13n minus 6850 is true. So that means there are 50 terms to make the sum of 3425. Let's review the process. Found the common difference of 3, wrote the rule right here. And then we used that rule because we didn't know what the n for the sum of 3425 was going to be. We just used 3n minus 8, knowing that once we solved for the n, we could figure out what that term would be. And it turned out to be 50, and we ended up solving it by graphing on the calculator.